This is the thing about that show, right? I think the show is, in theory, a good idea, right? What if by chance we got out of our own way, right? Because most of dating is swipes now. Like a good portion of how people meet is dwarfed. Online dwarfs every other version of meeting. Like meeting at a bar, meeting at work, all that stuff like that. Meeting online is way, way bigger. So a big part of how we feel about each other and how we feel about ourselves when it comes to dating is completely and totally dictated by bots. I know we don't think it's bots, but it is. Like, most of these platforms are flooded with bots because if they can keep you on the platform, they keep your money, right? So better to have a couple bots entertain you and waste your time for a little bit so you think that something's going somewhere while maybe you work it out with a real person or maybe not. But either way, we've got your money. It's like a gym membership, right? You ever try to cancel a gym membership? I remember I had a gym membership. That's one of the few things that seems obscure that like Biden was trying to get on that I was really excited about. Because the Biden administration was basically like, anything that took your credit card for you to start the membership should be just as easy to get out of, just as easy to opt out of, right? Because there are some things that aren't. There were a lot of gyms back in the day where you could go up there and sign up that day, all right? And then be like, okay, I'm a member of this gym and I'll buy 5 months outright because you're doing 2 months free or whatever. So I'll be a member for 7 months. That's most of the year. I gotta get sexy by then. And so you do this like 5-month fee and maybe you do it in one lump sum or maybe they keep charging your card every month at some discount or whatever. But then at month 6, you're like, it's not working. I keep coming once a week and pushing 3 things and nothing is changing. I don't think I'm gonna get sexy on the right timeline. And I don't wanna be a member of this gym for 40 years, so you know what? I'm gonna cancel it. I'm gonna cancel my membership. And so then you go there, and this happened to me. You go to the gym, and you're like, I would like to cancel my membership. And at first they try to fight you. First they're like, no, you were just getting sexy, dog. We all noticed it. There was one day we were changing the towels. We were like, damn, I remember when he came in January. It's March. What a difference. And I'm like, I'm flattered, but I don't feel very sexy. And the scale says I weigh the same. So I'd like to cancel my membership. And they're like, dang, dog, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. You know, we love having you around and everything. And like, you know, it's just your presence lights this place up. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we see you, dog. We see you when you struggling, when you struggling to do that, like clean and snatch. You know what I mean? When you got the bar here and you trying to, Whenever you're doing this, we laugh. It's such a great day. We gonna miss you, man. You sure you want to do this? Yeah, I gotta do it. I gotta end my membership. And they're like, okay. All right. Well, it's a shame because you can't end your membership here. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah, we don't do that here. I'm like, what do you mean? This is where I came to start my membership. This is where I exercised my membership. How can I not end my membership? No, there's a whole process and everything, you know. So basically, you gotta write a letter saying like how you're not sexy and stuff, and then you gotta mail that letter. Okay, you gotta mail that letter to our headquarters. Our headquarters will then let us know. And also, you can't just mail it to the headquarters. You also have to call in and be like, guys, I don't want to be sexy anymore. And then you have to call before your letter gets to the headquarters, because if it gets there first, it sort of invalidates your call. So you have to make sure you call, and it's best to call while the person at HR at headquarters is holding your letter. I know you won't have any idea when that is, but try. Just call a lot, call consistently until maybe you call and they're holding it and they're like, oh, is this you? Yes, it's me. I would like to never be sexy. And so then what they'll do is they'll call us and we still won't cancel it. We'll just know that you're a quitter. And so then Then after they call us, we will call the department, which is a third party that actually handles our memberships, and tell them to take you off of the mailing list, just the mailing list. But eventually, once you've been off the mailing list for long enough, we'll stop charging your card. This seems like it should be illegal. Because it's a process that sounds like it's gonna take years. There was such a long process, and then they said I was no longer a member. I had stopped going, and then I saw where they still charged me. I called them, and that called them at the gym, and they were like, no, you gotta call headquarters. So I called headquarters, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and then someone finally got on the line being like, hey, I was about to take my break. Because the whole plan there is just to frustrate you so much so that you end up keeping it. Because what they want you to do is to still have it, and it's so hard to get rid of that eventually you go one day, and as soon as you go, you've basically renewed your membership and everything. They just want any way possible to squeeze as much money out of the people that are going, right? And so that's one of the things that Biden was like, oh, we gotta stop this, you gotta make it clickable. You know what I mean? You gotta make it just so that, did you click to start the membership? You should click to end the membership. It's like, wow, what a novel concept. You know what I mean? That's the type of thinking that comes from a man who doesn't have a lot of time to mess around. You know what I mean? He's like, let's get right to it, But that's what the dating platforms do. They just don't want you to cancel, right? And they've come up with tiers. They've come up with little systems to get extra money out of you. Super swipes, double super swipes, thirst trap swipe. All these little ways that maybe you can find someone. And even when you find someone, you're not finding someone. You're just allowed to start a conversation now. And so what if we got out of our own way? What if that really happened? Where people who genuinely wanted to find someone and didn't want to have any barriers on them, any sort of expectations or even some of their own preferences, right? Just wanted to get to know a person just as they are, right? We're just going to talk. And what if we talked for so long, so many times, that we covered the amount of talking that it usually takes people in the real world months to cover? Because you know what it's like. You go on that first date. That first date is all surface level, if it's even true. It's like I try to be myself. I want everybody to feel comfortable being themselves. But as long as we're lying, we're lying. You know what I mean? If you're gonna lie, I gotta lie. I can't just show up being vulnerable and then you lie and then I look like a monster. So yeah, if you're gonna lie, then I gotta lie, You're gonna lie about the degree you have. I gotta lie about having a job. I just gotta make sure that we fit each other's, each other's lies. And then you get to the truth. And sometimes truth is very disappointing, because sometimes, whether it's your fault or of no fault of your own, you've built up an idea of who a person is, and that idea of who they are sometimes trumps the person that you see in front of you. So then you see the real person after when you can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? One of the things the police used to do back when everybody was writing checks, and check fraud was this big thing because people con artists would get really talented at copying somebody's signature. When they thought that somebody might be one of these people, what they would do is they'd have them write something, but they wouldn't just have them write it once, because you can pretend to be someone else one time, 2 times, 3 times. They would have somebody, almost like when you got punished in school, they had to write the thing 50 times. And over time, you could see whether the person was bored or they just started getting in their head. Eventually, their true handwriting would show. And that's what we do when we get to know a person. After 3 months, you're like, look. There's a lot I didn't tell you about because I want you to stay. You ever been dating somebody and then 2 months and you're like, who is this person? It's like, no, this person is the person. I don't know. Sorry, you aren't dating who you thought. And so then you get all this talking. You get all this genuine quality time together, right? And I like this person. And so maybe this is my person, right? And how long would it take if all we did was talk, if all we did was really get to know each other? How long would it really take for us to fall in love with a person? Probably as long as production allows, you know what I mean? But like, but still, you see these people on this show, and within 9 days of being on the show and being in the pods, they're talking about I love you to this person that they've never seen, that they've never met, but they've talked so much. And a part of you thinks, this person's dumb, this person's crazy. I don't think they are. I think if you got to do a deep dive into a person, you could find whether or not you like really loved everything about this person, how their mind works, their sense of humor, all the little push and pull that the relationship has, you know? And then they do the reveal, which is usually where things go awry. Because it's hard to get out of your own way, and it's hard to change your nature, especially in 9 days, right? And so then sometimes they do this reveal. If you never watched the show, they're in the pods, and they chat, and they chat, and they chat, and then people are picking each other as they're chatting. And you're really picking off a personality. You don't know what this person is like, you know? Sometimes you're watching the show, and you're like, these two look like they would go together in the real world, and they're not picking each other now. That's so interesting, right? Then they do the reveal. The reveal is like, they're across a hallway with this carpet and the doors open and they see each other for the first time. And, you know, a lot of times it goes great. They get really excited. Oh, I happen to be in love with a person who happens to be beautiful. What a bonus. And then sometimes you can tell, you can see it on the person that they're like, ooh. I am not blind. Because you got to understand, whether you've watched the show or not, it must be a lot. It must be a lot to like have someone talking to you the way that they talk to each other. They are talking to each other the way that we imagine our great-grandparents talk to each other. Like before devices got involved, right? When you really had to miss someone. And you really got to know them. And you didn't even know that many people. You know? Your great-great-grandparents might have only known 200 people in life. And they pick one of those people, so you're not even doing the same comparison stuff we do. We're spoiled for choice, or at least the illusion of choice. Because we're like, no, I could get anybody. That's what you think, because then you match with them and you're like, damn, okay. You know? And it's tough because dudes are the ones that fall for bots the most. We really are. Like, we get botted hard. Our friends will tell us it's a bot, and we'll be like, maybe. Maybe. Or maybe she's just into me. Maybe y'all just can't handle it. It's like, she keeps asking for your social security number. And for you to send her money through PayPal. Maybe she's going through a rough time, dog. I don't know. You ever thought of that? You ever thought about sometimes beautiful people are down on their luck? Because we all know it's beautiful people who never get anything for free. You know? But yeah, you see it. You see it on them, right? Because they were talking to each other so wild. I love you. They propose before they're allowed to see each other. You know what I mean? They propose in the pods. You propose to this idea of a person, someone that you think that you could love for the rest of your life, right? And they are talking to each other the way our great-great-grandparents talked to. I'm talking about Civil War love letter talking to each other. You know those old Civil War letters? You ever read some of them? Oh, it's astounding. Dear Jebediah. I miss you terribly. And I can't wait to once again feel the brush of your long beard upon my face. I hope and pray for the day that I see you on the horizon and know that you are home for good. Love, Magnolia. Like they would just be named after flowers back then for no reason. There's a bunch of roses and magnolias and tulips and stuff. And sometimes, I've read some of these letters and I've watched documentaries about, people that they've honed in on that we know the most about and everything. Sometimes those letters got nasty. Every once in a while, those letters... My dearest Magnolia. This war is a burden upon my soul. What keeps my fire alight is thinking of your warm embrace. I shudder to think if this letter is read by anybody but its intended. But know that your beloved keeps your handkerchief close by at all times. Your dearest Jebediah. With the long D. No, it's tough because they've said so many things to each other in these pods. They seem to mean them, right? Because that's the other thing you can suss out a little bit more. When you're not swayed by someone's looks, what they just say, what does that mean? And you can really talk the thing out, whatever it is, right? And they see each other, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes this engagement falls apart right after, soon after. Sometimes they, say no. I can't marry you, right? Watching this season, I don't know. Everything I'm saying applies to the entirety of the idea. So it's not about any one person or group or season. It's just like that idea, like what happens if we get out of our own way, But it's also hard because this is my thing about that show, is that by and large, every season of it I've seen, they are picking pretty good-looking people. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're picking people who these are gorgeous people, right? They have yet to pick someone that I'm really like, Is nobody gonna tell them? Do you know what I mean? This is where I lose you. Okay. I just want there to be like one season, because what happens is, and they've like done whole survey studies, they've interviewed people who've studied relationships, have talked about this stuff for a very long time, right? I'm not just saying, oh, trust me, it's science. I'm saying, like, you can look it up for yourself. When it comes to like long-term relationships, right? Relationships that are supposed to last to the end of your life, let's say you get married in your 30s, right? That they found that like women are, by and large, better partners to have, right? And it's because of the things that nurture a relationship are the things that women are usually the ones doing, right? Not saying there aren't great boyfriends and husbands out there. I'm just saying that like usually what upholds and keeps a relationship going is like some of the action, some of the planning, some of the thinking of the women in those relationships, okay? And this isn't to paint anyone as an angel either. I know relationships end for all sorts of reasons. It's just that like we all have our preferences, right? Every single one of us. And I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing, We all have our you might want the person that you end up with, no matter who you date, no matter who you love, to at least have like a head. That would be nice. A head would be nice. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not trying to... You would assume they have a head. And then as long as they have a head, there might be things that you like about the face on that head. And then you pick and you pick and you pick and you find the people, whatever. But just sometimes Whenever people are in a noble pursuit, how they get there is not always questioned because the pursuit is noble, right? And so because so many people are trying to find their forever person, the ways in which that they are shallow sometimes don't get addressed as much because the overall pursuit is noble, right? It's much easier to come down on someone who's just like hardcore participating in like hookup culture for being shallow because we can just cast away the whole idea as trashy, right? But when someone's looking for like long-term love and they're being shallow, it's just kind of harder to call them out because they're looking for their forever person anyway, right? So it's just one season of Love is Blind. I would just love if they do the regular show. You can even pick all the good-looking people that you want. That's fine. Just pick all good-looking people. And I want good dudes, by the way, real good dudes. Like good dudes where you do the research. He volunteers and he donates to the charities and he taking care of somebody sick. Really good dudes, right? But then when they do the reveal, right, and the doors open and they're standing across from each other, I just want every single one, every one of those dudes to be short. That would be great. That would be fire. That would be so good. And I don't mean short as in like 5'8". I don't mean regular height, but calling them short because your friends are tall. I'm talking about cartoonishly short. I want these dudes, I'm talking about the 4'11s of the world. I want these dudes to be so excited and so little that when they're running to their bride, they really got to do that step. You know what I'm talking about? You know when somebody real short, they need the extra steps, and so he... And she just... And they meet up in the middle, and they propose before they get to see each other. Sometimes they propose again as soon as they meet each other, right? You know, they propose, and since the beginning of the show, she's been saying, I just want to find love. Okay. Found him. He go to propose. He ain't got a kneel. No, just really test it. See if his love is blind.
Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It does seem like we are held captive right now in someone's grandma's house.
Yeah, if you see the video, yeah, it does. Yeah, specifically a grandma hostage taker is what we have.
Yeah, it looks like we're being kept well fed and entertained with stories. I can't tell if the stories of the torture or the reprieve from the torture, but we know a lot about harmonica playing from the 1920s. A lot about someone named Thurston.
Yep. What soda pop used to cost in the 60s. We know that now.
Also a lot of glass doors, so this is probably one of the most escapable prisons I've ever been in.
Yeah, that's true. This just slides right open. That's not.
Yeah.
No, this is it's strange because the camera's pretty far away if you're watching the video, and the futon we're on. The only way to really sit comfortably was for us to slump back like this.
This futon is so uncomfortable, you can tell no one's ever had sex on it.
Or too many people have had sex on it.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel like this one is even the way I'm sitting right now, this is just regular sitting with regular legs that are just both the feet touching the ground and the ass touching the back of the futon.
Yeah.
And I'm so deeply uncomfortable right now that there's no way someone had pleasurable intercourse on this thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep like having no way of like feeling and looking comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, this is an Airbnb, so neither one of us will have to deal with this situation much longer. But
yeah, this is the second one. This is not the one I was in last week. This one is better. So I know we're not giving it a great review.
It already looks better.
It looks better.
They have a blender.
They do. They have a blender, but they don't have a coffee maker, which is an issue for me. But it's all right. I've been doing instant coffee, and I made it work. But I just feel like that's one of like the things to put. Like they have that in shitty hotels, have coffee makers.
Which I don't get, because if you're in a really bad hotel, why would you want to be awake for it? I'm just saying. It's like,
fair.
It's weird that they give you coffee so you can stay awake and realize
Right.
what a terrible hotel motel
Well, because
you're in.
if you go to sleep, then you realize how bad the bed is and that it needs to be cleaned.
Not if you're fully asleep.
Yeah.
If you're unconscious, you're like, it's not until you wake up that you're like, oh, wait, my life is not.
Do you remember we were on the road not too long ago and I just picked up the covers and you could see the light go through the covers and you could see how nasty like the inside of the quilt was?
Yeah, so, okay, how's the best way to explain this?
So I feel weird being way closer than you, but I think I'm more comfortable sitting like this. Is that weirder?
It's only weirder because from here, you look like you're doing a TikTok about me talking.
I think I'm out. Yeah, I'm reacting to you, and I set my shot out of focus because I'm out of focus. Just something like this. This is just not great when you're a big guy to be like, yeah, I want to just lean into the shot gut first is what I really want. And it doesn't help too that the lighting is making me look like, I don't know, the wall. Look at that. There's no chance.
Yeah, you do look like Wall.
Hopefully I do some color correction on this. Anyway, sorry, not to be too visual, but that took some doing to set up, and we're both so warm.
So,
But yeah, sorry, the thing you were setting up.
Oh, I don't even remember what that is.
The blanket thing, whatever.
Oh, no, just the blanket. So we were on the road, and Logan lifted up his sheet.
Just the quilt. Yeah, it was like the top quilt.
And wow, the light that went through it revealed what's the best way to describe it? The guts of the quilt.
Yeah, the innards.
Yeah.
The
So
meat.
all of the quilt intestines were fully loose.
Quilt testins? I know you hate when I try for a pun, but I felt like that's the closest I was going to get. Quilt testins.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, because it was like I guess like the feathers in it. I don't know if it was like a down blanket, but it had like the feathers in it. But you could see like where the stuffing, how little of it was left. Excuse me, how little of it was left, and how orange it was.
Oh yeah, it was like deep orange to where I thought it was.
And the blanket was not orange. The blanket was white.
I thought it was washed blood. It was so orange.
Yeah, it looked weird.
Yeah,
it was a strange.
And that's one of those things where anytime something is well lived in, it's not going to be great.
It's a nice way to put it. Well lived in.
It like anytime it's been used a lot, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be. I'm sure it used to be so thick you couldn't see through it with fluffy amounts of feather that felt like a cloud laying on your chest. And by the time we stayed there, years after this hotel had been opened,
Right.
It felt like instead of sleeping on a cloud, it felt like an angel fell out of heaven, but the actual impact of them hitting pavement is what the quilt felt like. It just felt like,
Right.
you know.
Lucifer's blanket.
I mean, it wasn't hot. It was just
Well, but I mean, when he
deeply
first
uncomfortable.
fell.
From
Is
okay,
what I was saying.
gotcha.
The OG fallen angel, the original.
Yeah, we also might be having heat stroke.
Oh, I am not doubting that at all.
You could probably tell, even listening to the recording, that we're both deeply uncomfortable, and that's probably I can't think of a thing that is more likely to be happening right now than me being a bit overheated, pretty tired, and maybe blurred vision.
Yeah. It's like I feel bad that this is what I've been talking about all week. Not necessarily on the podcast, but like just when I've done to people when I've done sets and stuff, but it's so fucking hot. And I mean, I know it's like not just in New York, the world, because the UK set their records. I can't remember if we talked about that last episode, but it's like this is a heat wave for the planet. And I'm staying in places that don't really have AC. This one does, but it's really just the window unit in the bedroom.
I wonder if it's a heat
I chose
wave
wrong
for the places that are like known to be cold. So if there's people right now in places that are usually cold and they're like, I only had to wear one jacket. It is burning up out here.
I mean, that's kind of how it is. Like
in what, Alaska?
Sometimes. I mean, in the Midwest, hell, like Iowa, Minnesota, like. So
I guess I never count.
Not so much in the summer, but
yeah, I never really count the Midwest because in my mind, it's it's like meant to be hot sometimes there.
True.
I'm talking about places that are always cold.
Well, in the Midwest too is like a muggy hot too. We get humid too. So when it gets hot, like I'm sure. I mean, hell, Louisiana has to be the same. It probably gets muggy as hell down there, right?
The heat stroke in Louisiana is pretty funny because I mean we could cut all that early stuff out and just get right to this in the episode. The heat stroke in Louisiana is very funny to watch because it's like some people there's no difference.
Why do some people write in and call me a monster and not you?
That's
what I don't understand. You just said watching heat stroke is funny, and people write in and be like, "Logan's a fucking monster." I'm like, I've never laughed at heat stroke.
I mean, you did when I said it.
Okay, well,
yeah, I'm just saying there are some.
But
people,
I'm a bystander. Still, I'm still a witness, not the doer of the crime.
There are some people that you could talk to where you're like, "Dang, you had a full stroke in front of me and I didn't notice." Like just the way that you talk and how you carry yourself is already a little slurred, you know?
I did your show on Wednesday. And I know you were at a different show, and I walked up there. Our friend Rob was there. He said I got up on stage and turned around, and just in that time I was sweating. So first off, I just turned around and was sweat. And then at one point I tried to say I currently live in the Midwest, and what came out was I live Midwest.
Yeah.
Is all I said. I said, I live Midwest.
But you see, your heat stroke is noticeable because of how you talk normally. But when you get someone who's like...
like a Cajun accent?
Yeah. When you get somebody with some drawl, that sounds like heat stroke.
No matter when.
That's how... Like, if you get
it's
someone...
December and you're like, are you tired?
Yeah, if you get someone that's like, you know what the boys over there was saying, man. You know, with them boys, you know over there with them boys.
Yeah.
You know, there with them boys, it's hot out here with the bunch with the boys. Oh, you done been before with the boys.
The boys?
Yeah.
Yo, man, I got to rub out that boy.
I need some water and go to the bayou.
Wow.
And then before you know it, they're like slumped over, and you're like, hey, is he okay? Like I've watched heat stroke happen in front of me to other people.
Yeah.
And not known the signs right away. Like I had to learn them when I was pretty young. And then
are you having heat stroke or are you just Southern?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man. Like I think that I think that sadly right now in this moment in life, I'm putting together how much a few accents and dialects out there sound like heat stroke.
Yeah. Name the other ones. Go ahead. Take our show there. Let's get a new fan base. Let's go and become edgelords.
No, I just mean like I think that there are people that I grew up around, especially people in like more of the rural area that had a lot of that French slang,
yeah.
would have the drawl to pull off some like slow talking that you can't quite understand.
Yeah.
So it's one thing when someone's speaking a different language and they're speaking so fast that even if I spoke that language, I'd need subtitles. Mm-hmm. But it's very different when someone's speaking slowly and you're still like, oh no.
I'm still lost.
I don't know what is being said at all.
Yeah.
Especially when it's directions. I've been in the car with people where we get a little bit lost and maybe we're in Ball or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you know,
in Ball, is that a town?
Ball, Louisiana, yeah.
Okay.
And so they're just parts of Louisiana where if you get lost and you ask
where you
someone
live
for directions, they will get you more lost because you don't understand them.
And they're probably using like local references. When you see the blank, then
not only will they use local references, but they'll also be like, they'll tell you a colloquialism you've never heard before.
Oh, I love that. When you encounter that in the wild, a new phrase you've never heard.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, you take a stone's throw this far, and then you could just take a left, and then just spitting distance after that. And you're like, these are all...
You just give one.
These are all like bodily function things that I don't know how that means for a car.
You see this, then you just do a little turtle shuffle to the left.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
No, it's pretty bad. In lieu of us doing like Scare B&B last episode,
Right.
I just remembered there were a couple of things that we had previously like not really touched on specifically when we did some of those old review episodes.
Oh, okay.
And there's just a couple of ones I remembered from some restaurants that like were spillover from. Remember that episode we did?
Yeah.
Okay. And it just made me laugh because we ordered seamless before we started recording everything because neither one of us had eaten.
Yeah, we're like, let's get hot and full.
Yeah, hot and full is a great
That'll
recipe
be good.
for
That'd be
energy.
good for the show. Let's get hot and full and let's really lean back.
Yeah.
Let's really get comfy, sit back with a full tum-tum.
It would be wild if there's just 30 minutes of this episode where neither one of us are saying anything because we've quickly fallen asleep.
Yeah, or
And then
we
you-
are having heat stroke and are only understanding each other.
Honestly, if I was having heat stroke right now, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. Like, does it come all at once or what's...
I've seen it happen playing football.
I mean, I've seen it happen
No, I
to
know.
other people, but
It
I
is
guess,
weird 'cause
what does
sometimes-
it feel like?
Well, see, the weird one, I can't remember if I've talked about it on the show before. We'll get back to these restaurants, but I can't remember if we talked about it on the show, but when I saw my friend get heat stroke during a football practice, and he stuck with it for a while, and like he says he does not remember like the latter half of the practice really, or like once we got to like the real big conditioning stuff at the end. And he was going hard to the point to where we were doing like up downs and he kept going and they blew the whistle and we stopped and he did like 3 more and we were all like, "Hey, Tom, you can quit." And he's just like, ugh, ugh. And he was just like his body had taken over, but his mind was no longer there until we went to like have our final like, breakdown meeting and he runs up and just falls over. And then he tried to get his pads off and no one noticed, but he got his pads off and then they just got stuck. So he was just laying on the ground with his shoulder pads over his head. And I had to give I think I've definitely talked about this on the show, but then I had to give the on deck speech that night, which is especially like cycles through the seniors and juniors. And you give like a little like speech, like a fucking let's go get him or whatever. And I was slurring and my vision was blurred. So I think I was having heat stroke too. And I had a speech prepared, and it was all gone. I just went there. I'm like, look at this fucking football and the team because we're playing, and we need. And let's just so let's go. And then I said like fuck a few times in it, so I had to run a fence and back too while having heat stroke. Because if you swear, you got to run a fence and back.
Was your coach... I know we've also touched on this. We're going to get to the restaurants.
Yeah,
in a
sorry.
second. But was your coach fit?
Yeah, they were all pretty fit mostly.
Like, in my opinion, you can't coach football unless you're fit.
Unless you do
There's
it too.
nothing like
Yeah.
an out of shape guy telling me to run.
Yeah, no,
that
they
makes me angrier.
they
It's
were all
like,
pretty
you
fit.
do it with me then.
Right,
You
yeah.
need it.
Yeah, you go.
You like I'm out of shape from just being young and not knowing how to be in shape.
Right.
You actually are teetering into some health problems.
They were all in pretty good shape. And that was my biggest thing too, is it wasn't until years later, actually until I started, because I teach with a lot of them now. Mm-hmm. When I sub at that school. So like most of my coaches are all still there. Mm-hmm. And I teach with them and I kind of realize how not old they are. And so I realized that they were all like fucking 25 when I was in high school, which makes me angry now retroactively to be like, I cared so much what these fucking 25-year-olds thought. And now there's no person's opinion I value less than a 25-year-old.
Yeah. What is it like now that because the thing with decades is that teens to 20s feels like a huge gap.
Yes.
And 20s to 30s also feels like a big gap.
Absolutely.
But 30s to 40s and 40s to 50s feels like you're all just adults now.
Yeah.
So now that you're teaching with them, how do you perceive that relationship of like, does it feel like time has shrunk between the two of you?
Like, what do you mean time has shrunk between us?
So if someone's 15 and then someone's 25,
Yeah.
I can see a 15-year-old very much trying to impress a 25-year-old.
They look way older than you and feel just way more worldly
Yeah,
than you.
that's what I'm saying. But now, if you're 35 and they're 45, does it feel like there's almost no time between the two of you
Kind of,
now?
yeah. We all feel. I think it's also too because they all, at least if they haven't seen me do stand up, and some of them have, but a lot of them know of my career and, living in Chicago and stuff. So I think they also, not that it's like necessarily a respect thing, but they are aware that like I'm doing shit they've never done. You know what I mean? So I think there's a little more of like, they're actually interested in my life. And because when you're in high school and you are in a small town in Iowa, you're not that interesting to talk to. You haven't done anything,
Gotcha.
You're a kid in a small town in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, yeah, I feel much more. I think it's also too, not that I don't care what they think. I respect all of them, and I still think they're all good guys. I just have a way different relationship with them now, where it's like now I'm like, oh, I'm a guy they want to talk to now. It's not just me trying to impress them. I'm also like, oh, a guy they like knowing. Most of them. Mm-hmm. So
no, that makes sense. Because I'm just thinking about that, how if you knew someone when you were 18 and they were 28, that feels like worlds apart. But then if you're 48 and they're 58, it's like, all right, one of y'all get better prices at movie theaters. That's about it.
Right, yeah.
As far as like life differences.
No, for sure. For sure. And I guess it's more too, it's not even so much that like when I think back, I'm like, oh, why did I care what they thought? It's like, well, they were my coaches and my teachers. You want them to like you. But it's more, I'm like, oh, I wish I had my view of them that I have now, which I'm like, oh, they're just a guy. Like, yeah, I had to impress them and do stuff for them, but it's also like...
Yeah, I go back and forth on that, because here's the thing. When you look at an accomplished person or a person in a position of authority or any of that stuff, when you look at all of them as just a dude, right?
Right.
That's more realistic and it's helpful for perspective, but what it robs you of a little bit is like, if something is special to you and you want that thing and then you want to do it better than the person that you look up to, they can't just be another guy, if that makes sense. They kind of have to have this little like air around them.
Well, and I have that. There were teachers who were older than them, those were like the teachers who were like whoa, those guys are so fucking smart. And like those are the ones I still look at as like the geniuses I knew. And these guys are all smart. It sounds like I'm really bashing the people who are my coaches, and I'm not. I respect all of them and I like them all a lot. But I think I was trying so hard to be like a kid they like, especially because too, like my older brother was like, they fucking loved him. He was such an amazing student and a really great athlete and stuff too. And I was fine in both categories, So it's like, I'm like, I just want to be liked. And I was more doing that rather than like pursuing stuff because I wanted to be good at it, or, you know what I mean? That's what I mean by it.
Gotcha.
Where it's like, and then that's an ice cream truck going by again. That's 2 episodes in a row that we've had an ice cream truck going right by.
This neighborhood love ice cream.
This neighborhood does love ice cream.
This neighborhood, they got, it's sad.
I hear it everywhere I go in Brooklyn.
There's so much ice cream in Brooklyn. Nobody really can run for the ice cream truck. Like if you miss them, you're just going to have to get them tomorrow.
I mean, it sounds like they go slow. So, because I hear them in just one block for a long time.
Yeah, I remember one time the ice cream.
What did we just talk about for a long time? Was I rambling about my coaches?
Yeah.
God, I'm in my 30s. What is happening?
So one time, and we're gonna get to the restaurants, I promise. One time.
Oh, I hope we don't.
When I was in Louisiana, I was like a teenager, and this is when I would do cross country. My mom gave me a key, so when I got dropped off from school and from practice, I could just go in the house. Because it was when I was like old enough that she didn't need to take me to the library after school every day.
Yeah.
And so, sure enough, man, oof. I remember I got dropped off at home. I went inside and was playing with Rocky or something, and then the ice cream truck for the neighborhood broke down in front of my house.
Oh, shit.
But they just never turned the music off. And so they just were camped out trying to get like someone to bring a tire out and everything.
Yeah.
And selling ice cream the whole time. So for them, it's just business. But for me, it's like 2.5 hours of the same ice cream truck music. And you know what's crazy? So I didn't have any noise canceling anything, and so all I could do was loud. Like I could just play music.
All I could do was loud.
All I could do was loud to combat it. I couldn't noise cancel. I couldn't Bose it. I didn't have that type of money, and so I could just get loud so that I didn't have to hear it.
All I could do is loud. it pleased me. It was I live Midwest. All I could do was loud.
I'm just saying that loud does not. It still penetrated the volume,
Right.
which is crazy because I was blaring stuff. Because after the first 20 minutes, I'm like, man, I hope that because they had clearly broken down. Like you saw the guy,
Right.
His wheel was in a weird position, and he was like not quite out of the street.
I wonder if there's something like scientific to the music of those things. Like if they're at a perfect frequency that they can cut through anything.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, it should be illegal because it's so infuriating. I was getting so angry. And the first 20 minutes, I was tolerating it because I was like, that guy's probably having a hard day. Like, I was actually trying to be empathetic. Like,
Right.
that dude's probably having a hard day and everything. And then after, like, the first 40 minutes, I was like, he's at least got to turn the music off, right? Like, I can't be the only one. Like, I even looked out the window at my neighbor's house, see if anybody else was looking out the window to see if anybody else was, like, stressed about
Surely
this.
the neighborhood is infuriated. Right
Yeah, I was
now.
like, surely these people don't love ice cream so much that they need the music while they lick the cone.
It's not special. Then I can just go to a store.
I was
You
getting
know?
furious. And then after the first hour, I was like, I need to do something. And so I had little earbuds, but they were terrible. They were like the cheap earbuds.
Well, and even just because how old were you?
Like 13, 14.
Yeah, see, at that age too, like earbud technology was not great because even the early like good earbuds hurt your head.
Yeah, they really like stretched that. You
Yeah,
be walking around with some loose ears.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
not built for ear shape
Yeah.
at all. They didn't realize it.
They were just
it
so
was-
excited that music came through the wires that they were like,
Yeah.
leave it.
Yeah, cram these circles into your ears.
And so that didn't work because even though I was listening to music so much it was hurting my ears, I could still hear the like, hello. And so then I was like doing a hum on top of the music. So that I did that. So I was just like, the entire time the music was playing. And it was still cutting through. This is like the telltale heart of ice cream.
Yeah, you truly lost your mind there.
And then I was like,
with earbuds and blaring music, screaming to yourself.
dude, it was like an hour though.
I know. The best would be then if the music stopped and then everyone outside is just hearing, "Ah!" And they're like, oh shit, turn it back on.
Nah. At an hour and a half, I take out the earbud because now my head just hurts. I have like a headache from how
Yeah.
loud the music was.
Well, just humming
And then
too. That's gonna hurt.
I turn the TV on. I turn it on full volume. So like, you know those levels that's ridiculous to let a TV go to, like that, like those volumes that go to 80.
Yeah.
I'm at like 77, and I'm just blaring the, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That Spider-Man just going, but then that's not even enough consistent audio to be cutting out.
that a hero can save.
We're not even there yet. We're not even to like the credits.
Oh, is
or
that just the
anything.
soundtrack? It's the movie, yeah.
This is the movie, and so even the slow parts.
Yeah, careful that you don't unplug that, please.
Oh yeah, no, it's just even the slow parts are just straight up blaring. Now the ice cream music seems louder because the movie is so loud. So I'm like, anytime I can hear it I'm like, did he turn up the volume as well?
I just love too the ice cream music in the background and then Green Goblin laughing over it. Like, there it fucking is again. There's the y'all talking shit.
But look, wait. This thing. So you see how it started again?
It dips. Yeah, if you can't
In
hear it, sorry,
Louisiana.
the music stopped for a second because we're hearing the truck go back again.
Yeah. Now, what they did in Louisiana in my neighborhood was they were like, and they do it again and again and again, and then it stopped, and then you would hear, hello.
That's what I was wondering because you said that, and I understood that you meant like that's how it played in your thing, but that sounds genuinely alarming.
No, it's horrible. It's so bad, and so that's also happening
That sounds like Pennywise.
for 2.5 hours.
Hello, do.
I've never in my life wanted to brandish a gun
Wow.
more than when I hit the 2-hour mark. of that ice cream music, because I was just like, guys, this is now everyone in the neighborhood that's gonna buy ice cream has bought ice cream. You're not weighing anybody else down,
Right.
you know, like you're not leaning on them hard enough for them to come out of their house and be like anything.
Right.
Anything to make the music stop. Everybody that's bought ice cream is going to buy ice cream.
Anything to make the music
bro,
stop.
just turn it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd their business do though? Did a lot of people swarm the
No,
truck?
They got swarmed at first, but then this is my problem. Everyone that swarms you lives here. You were
Fair.
already driving around the neighborhood. You were going to get them anyway.
Oh, that meant there was some kids a few blocks away who were really excited for 2 hours for the truck to get to their house.
Yeah, I guess so.
They just stood there
I
waiting.
guess they just sat there like,
Just outside.
any minute now.
It's got to be coming.
Yeah, my mom doesn't let me walk into the
Yeah.
edge of the street, so
So I got to stay here and wait. It's so hot out here.
yeah.
I got the money crumpled up in my hand, and I just want them to. Why won't it come?
Have you ever seen the fire hydrant get open? Like,
Not get opened. I've seen it open, but yeah.
oh no! I've watched
I've
it
never-
this
I've-
year especially. They're popping hydrants hard.
Oh, I've been seeing a lot of them already going, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen like the process.
yeah. Oof. There was one guy who popped it open. I was about to close it, and a guy ran up and he was like, "Hey, just give me a minute."
Go ahead.
And then took like a full shower
Just
with
let
the
me
hydrant. Like people had stopped playing in it, so the guy was about to close it, and he was like, "Hey, let me do my thing." And
just
then
let me cool off a bit. There we go.
man, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it has been a hot couple weeks out here. I'm sure it is just everywhere, but you get that, I don't know, that New York sweat's a different sweat. I will say that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, I spent this whole time thinking I left Louisiana.
Yeah. That's the thing.
It's like almost as bad.
Like I've been in like LA when it's hot, but it's that, I think it's just that desert hot. It's a little more dry. There's an ocean nearby. I mean, I guess there's an ocean nearby here too, but it hates us. I don't know. It must just be the tall ass buildings and all the concrete. It must just be that. It just it turns into one big hot rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine what I'll do if this continues.
I have like every time I get back from doing something, I get home and I have to peel off a wet shirt and then just, I don't know, just try anything.
It's like, because you can't move. You can't move from Earth, so
You can't move from
we're
Earth.
just
No.
we're just here.
Yeah, I thought we had more time before the end was coming, but boy, she's barreling forward at us.
Oh my god! It's like
This can't be a good podcast to listen to, can it?
I mean, we've got out of the 30 minutes we've been recording, we have 20 minutes that are very entertaining.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Just checking.
yeah. It won't be until you listen back that you know for sure, but the parts that you've laughed have been funny.
I know. I was just joking because it's just us constantly being like, "Oh, it's so hot."
Yeah, but it's also hot
God.
for them listening.
That's true. That's
if,
true.
if they listen to this in the winter of 2023, it's gonna look like a misstep. It's gonna look like, wow, they really cared about what was going on in their life at that moment.
Yeah.
That,
Always check the date of the podcast episode you're listening to just for some general context. You know what I mean? It's like when I was like finding new podcasts to listen to and then that started a few years back and then you catch up to like 2020 and it's always like the show changes completely and everyone sounds a little more confused and sad. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's how we were all thinking then.
Yeah. It's so hot in here. I'm almost positive every one of these plants is fake.
That's a good point.
There's no way they're alive.
No, that one's definitely fake. Probably those ones too. That one, I mean, yeah, that one looks plastic.
Yeah, for those of y'all who can't see, which is everyone watching.
Because even if you're watching, they're off camera.
There are 5 plants in here, and I'm almost positive that 4 of them are fake. And the only reason that bothers me is that...
Well, also, I'm not watering them, so I hope they're fake. No one's sneaking in here to give them water.
I don't like the stolen valor of fake plants.
The stolen valor of fake plants.
Let me just explain. So
I'm very excited.
there are
We're going to get to
people-
the restaurant views in a second.
there are people out there that take care of plants in their home. They keep them alive.
Yep.
They keep the oxygen in the apartment fresher.
Sure.
All right. And they show responsibility for caring for a living thing. Then there are other people who are like, let me just take all of that and
Yeah.
buy something plastic for $6
Yeah.
and put it in the same place I would put the real plant.
I like to think of it as an action figure of a plant.
I think of it as plant taxidermy, and it's disgusting.
Plantsodermy. Come on, that one was right there. I knew you were going to hate that one too.
Honestly, if the seat on this futon wasn't backwards and I wasn't sunken in, I would get up right now.
Say if I had any strength at all, I'd storm away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jess has been. I can't remember if we've talked about this, but Jess has been a little plant crazy these days.
Really?
We got a lot of plants in the fucking house now, and it's like it's okay. I'm fine with it, but it's like it seems like anytime we go anywhere, we were here in New York when she was here with me, and we walked by somewhere, and she was like, "Ooh, I could get this." I'm like, "No, you can't. That's not gonna fit in your carry-on. What are you doing? You're not gonna buy plants here." She's like, "Well, they might ship it." I'm like, "Or we just find it where we live. Like, don't do that."
Yeah, New York doesn't have any special plants.
And exactly. And the time we've shipped plants, they get all fucked up. So she's done it before. They show up not happy because it turns out plants don't love living in a box for a couple days.
So when I was taking the bus,
Yeah.
this is like maybe 2 years ago because this was so close. I was taking the bus to do a show 3 years ago, I guess, because it would have been 2019.
Yeah.
Taking the bus to do a quick spot in Connecticut.
Okay.
And I was like, I was on the bus, and the whole time I was on the bus, I was like, I should have just taken the train. I feel that way every time I take a bus. I'm like, the train, sometimes the train is not quicker. A lot of people think that the train's going to be quicker because it's like a straight shot and there shouldn't be any traffic or anything. Mm-hmm. But sometimes there is. Sometimes something happens with a train that's an hour ahead of you.
And it's the only one path it can really take.
It's the one path you can take, so then it does delay you by 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Like, it's a misconception that the train is just always on time. They love to be on time, but they're not always.
Right.
Anyway, I'm on this bus, and there's this grown man handling a bag with a bag in it of fish, right? Of like live fish. So
Okay.
he's like clearly gone to a pet store and bought some fish.
Right.
And I don't know where exactly he's going, but he's in New York getting on the Connecticut directed bus. So he's at least going to be riding for a while.
God, I hope this doesn't have the same ending as the bag of soda, man.
No.
That'd be a bummer.
No. But
Then the
it's-
guy with an umbrella gets on the bus.
No, but it's just funny to me because he had all these fish, different fish, by the way, that were going to be, I was assuming, in the same aquarium. And he was like an aisle over from me. And so I was just like casually looking in the bag as he was handling it because he kept adjusting them. Like, he kept like putting one that was at the bottom up at the top and like taking them out and putting them back in and stuff like that. And I was
Wait,
just-
taking what? Taking.
So there were like a bag of goldfish,
Right.
a bag of the little bitty, whatever you call them. They've got a little color to them, and they're like faster than goldfish, but they're much smaller.
Okay.
Let me see. I mean, I know you don't care about the actual type, but like it was like imagine a goldfish,
Right.
And then these little things that are just like they usually have whole schools of them in some aquariums,
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you what they're called, but I
and
think I know what you're
then
talking about.
what I think was an algae eater because it was like a little long and had
Yeah.
the like
Flat mouth.
not just the flat mouth, the color
A
and
fish with no chin.
yeah, fish with no chin, glass jawfish.
Just that flat neck.
the pattern on it was like an algae eater. And so he kept just taking the bags out and putting them on top of each other. And I was like,
Like that was going to do anything?
I don't know if he was trying to keep them warm or cold. Like it was just him moving them around a lot.
I don't want any of them to feel superior to the others.
Yeah, I want them all to know that at any point in their life, I could change how they live. You ever buy fish just to play God?
I have a feeling that's what some people do, actually.
Yeah.
Same with plants. You just want to feel powerful.
Yeah, you want to watch something die in your apartment that you're allowed to kill.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not as grim as, other pets.
You just walk by the plant like your days are numbered.
What's the thing? It's like I remember one time Jess was getting angry that one of her plants kept doing bad, and she was doing everything right for it, and she's like, "This plant's gonna fucking die." I'm so disappointed. I say, "Don't they tell you to talk positively to the plant?" And she's like, "If it would get its fucking shit together." I'm like, "No, but maybe that's what's killing it."
Yeah.
If they keep saying you should be positive to your plants, and you're meanwhile you're pouring water into it, just live, you piece of shit.
Yeah, you're really being like a step parent to this plant.
Exactly. Yeah, the plant knows you don't love it.
Yeah, you're just trying
doing your job.
You're just trying to get with its mom,
Yeah, I sat down with our cactus and I said, "You can call me Dad.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to replace your dad. Your dad cactus. Your dadtus."
yeah. That's one of my favorites. Now that I'm getting a bit older, I have friends who are dating people with kids for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And one of my favorites is,
You ever date anybody that had a kid?
nah,
Okay, me neither.
but I I've been told, this was not I wasn't privy to this conversation when it was happening, but I've been told one of our friends, not you and I say me and the person that told me the story, tried to bribe the kid and just tell him to tell his mom that they went to Disney World and had a great time and gave him $150.
Wow.
But in my head, I was like, you almost at Disney money.
Yeah.
That means you really just don't want to spend the time with them because you almost had enough money for both of y'all to go.
You didn't want to get to know the kid.
Yeah. It's like, listen, you can go over the story with me and everything. I got 150 for you.
Yeah.
Just, tell her we had a great time. Tell her we hung out, whatever.
What happened? Did the kid keep up his end of the deal, or?
It seems like it.
Because if not, it'd be great too if the kid just took the money and then was like, "Guess what he just fucking did? Wants me to lie about going to Disneyland."
Yeah. It would be funnier if he took the money and was like, he hit me. He struck me.
Well, then she's like, "Well, so where's the money he gave you?" He's like, "Oh shoot, I must have lost it.
He must have hit me so hard that it flew out of my pockets."
Anyway, don't worry about all these Hot Wheels.
Yeah. Because it's also very hard to spend money as a little kid.
Especially that amount of money. You have nothing really. Once you buy a few toys, then I'm just like, okay, now I've got more money.
Imagine if you come home with a full arms full box of Snickers and then just try to act normal.
I found it.
Yeah, I found this box. Fell off a truck,
Mom. Can we keep it? Yeah, fell off a truck.
Fell off a Snickers truck, and they wouldn't want them all road rashed and everything.
This is gonna go to the discount store. I want these Snickers to have a good life.
Can I tell you when I was little and we used to go to the dollar store and stuff like that? Every once in a while they'd have a brand name candy there.
Yeah,
for way too cheap, and so other kids were getting excited in the aisle to check out, and I was always like, "What did y'all do to it?" Because it's only when I go to other stores, it's only 20 cents more.
They're all pre-melted.
Yeah, I was like, what's wrong with this?
Or we grave it was just like a mislabeling though. Oh, awesome, a Snorkers.
It's like, oh man, Mom, can you give me that Twiddlers?
I can't wait to eat this Malky Walks.
Yeah, wow. This chocolate is so spicy. This Herschel's bar does not taste good.
Give me a handful of Scuttles.
Yeah. Scuttles would probably be fire though.
Scuttles, I bet.
Yeah, Scuttles sounds like the people who lost the lawsuit to Skittles that actually came up with Skittles.
Yeah.
Like someone tried a Scuttle and they were like, I'll just take this home in my mouth without chewing. And then they just spit it out at home and try to figure out the recipe from there.
Right, yeah. A Scuttle is made with real fruit.
Yeah.
It's actual fruit flavor.
Yeah, but that's too expensive. So they
do it.
went with what? Titanium dioxide.
Some red 47 or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So those restaurant reviews.
Oh, okay. So it was just this restaurant review that made me laugh because it was to like southern seafood place, and they were complaining about the wait, which is a valid complaint. Like they were like, wait time was extra long.
Goddamn,
and
this
everything.
is how fucking hot and melty my brain is right now. I'm like, what? Like the fish was too light? I literally was like, they were complaining about the weight. Like catfish supposed to be heavier or something. That's how fucking.
Maybe you do have heat stroke.
I think so.
Maybe that should be the title of this episode.
I think the name of this episode, I already thought. The name of this episode would probably just be Josh and Logan get heat stroke.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. You're the one that's all.
Nah, you said some shit earlier.
What did I say earlier?
I don't know.
What did I say earlier that I didn't mean?
Some-
I stand by everything that I've said.
I've meant everything I've said, but you've also left out some words.
I don't know if I believe you.
All I could do was loud.
Yeah, but I would say that even if it was freezing cold in here. All I could do was loud.
Okay.
Yeah. You acted like you've never made fun of how I've said things before, and I'm only talking like this now.
I don't know.
If I didn't have my history, then yes, I'd be like, you should call an ambulance. But because I talk the way that I talk, this is par for the course. So, yeah, they were complaining. Do you need me to slap the back?
No.
Oh.
I choked on water now. That I think definitely was more like the angle I'm sitting at. This is not a comfortable angle to drink.
Yeah, we should do a supercut of everything in here that's unusable.
I think that'll be the episode, bud.
No, we should do, because I think that honestly we've got some great stuff, and then we have stuff where I'm like, are you like just now where I'm like, it looks bad on camera because I don't look concerned enough. I can.
Oh, you're just trying to protect you.
I'm not talking. I'm telling you to put it out. I'm not trying to protect me at all. I'm just saying in the camera, I'm sure I don't look concerned enough because I wasn't sure what was happening. I didn't realize you were choking. I just thought
it wasn't choking. It just went down, the wrong tube or whatever. Just kind of.
People say that, but are there really multiple tubes in your throat?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. You always like went down the wrong hole.
It's whatever it is that people say when that happens. I think I swallowed like a weird air bubble because again, I'm like, I rarely drink reclined. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like if you were like one of those people that needed the home health care and they sat you like this, it would be to kill you.
Yeah.
It'd be you taking a sip of water and just like,
because even right there, I just took a sip and I realized how much like air is in your mouth when you're trying to like get a drink like this. Anyway, the catfish was too heavy.
I mean, it's barely worth doing.
No, come on, we're here.
So the catfish was like, the catfish was fine. The wait time to get in was very long, and then the wait time once they sat down was just as long. So they were like, well, why aren't we still like? What's the point of even waiting inside if the wait time is going to be as long as we were waiting to get in the restaurant, right?
Right.
And then the food came. The catfish was good, but every other side was insane. Was like their mac and cheese was like. Clearly, some of the macaroni had been cooked all the way, so it was crunchy as hell. And it just made me laugh.
That's cruncheroni. Just you're good.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's a new cool thing we're doing.
And this person said in the review that they chipped a tooth on the mac and cheese.
Oh. Damn.
Like they broke a crowd in the back. Because the mac and cheese was like they it's not like they ate the whole thing. Once they realized that it wasn't like a freak thing,
Right.
they were like, "Oh, I'm done with it." But then they took, obviously you take a spoonful, you're very hungry, you've been waiting for, an hour and a half or more. And so as soon as you get your food comes, you start digging in.
Yeah.
And they bit into this like very undercooked mac and cheese and just
That's great.
lost a little bit of
Yeah.
a dental work with it.
We thought you ordered it rare.
Yeah, we thought you really wanted a challenge in your mac and cheese.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if you were one of these absolute wimps.
Yeah,
who
are you-
likes it cooked all the way.
Yeah, are you on a
through.
raw diet? We thought you were on a raw diet, and that's
Yeah.
what this. We just give it to you. We just straight from the box.
Yeah, that's why it is piping hot cheese with not even cooked macaroni.
Oh man,
Yeah.
did you have another one, or was that the whole?
No, I mean that was it.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. Then I think we, as much as we didn't get to the review, it took up the perfect amount of time. I think because now we can open the.
And you talking about how we both have heat stroke.
I didn't say I didn't have it worse.
All right. It just seems like between the two of us, if one of us needed attention, it should be you first.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. Don't help him.
No, I'm just saying, if we Uber to the hospital right now, I'd be like, hey, my friend is not doing well. And the simple fact I was able to explain that to you means I'm fine.
I am not disagreeing with you. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying we both need an IV, I think.
What have I done?
I like that you're
fit as a fiddle.
I like that we spent most of this
I'm
both
so healthy.
complaining about how hot and uncomfortable we are, and now you're pretending like everything's great for you.
I'm not saying everything is great. Almost everything is great.
All right, well, let's open up the MUBA. Let's see here. I've got a couple picked out. This is from Buko. Who is it? Buko or Buko? Because spelt. I'm wondering if am I supposed to put more stank?
I think it's Buko.
Okay, I just can't tell if it's like because like it looks like the word book. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like Buko is different than Buko. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering.
No, I'm with you. I just think you said it right the second time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's why I just wanted your opinion.
What I like about this already is that we've pronounced their name several different ways, and then
We had to have got it right.
at some point, and now the way they open up is funny because it's lots of iterations of our name.
That is true. I didn't even see that. Yeah, this one is titled Advice, and it says, Hey, Jogan, Lashi, J-Lo, Squeaks in Toontown. This is Buko. I wanted to suggest that y'all start an advice segment on the podcast. I think you did really well when giving advice during the mailbag last week and think that should be a regular thing you do. That was, I think, off of the relationship advice we had gotten into. Also, Josh, get Logan's face tattooed on you, or y'all can get matching / complimentary tattoos. Like Logan gets a little man holding specs, and Josh has a little man that's squinting and tripping. I just got my first tattoos less than a week ago, and they aren't that sore. Now, that part just seemed like a brag.
Yeah, that does seem like I just don't feel pain like some of y'all.
Yeah, I'm doing great, but you two are scared of needles. Mm-hmm. Also, if we're asking for advice, I don't really know how to flirt sober, and I want the lady that did my tattoo to be my girlfriend. She's very pretty and really interesting. Kind of older than me, but I don't really be dating people my age, which I think is okay because I'm an adultish woman. I'm 21, so you don't think I'm a minor. That is probably good clarification to put in there. Because if you were like, I'm 15, I'd be like, oh, don't worry, you're gonna strike out with everyone for the next 10 years.
You should leave her alone.
How do I start talking to her? Because I have her number. Thanks for the podcast. I love it. And you guys, my mom loves it when you aren't swearing. Sorry, that's mostly at me. My friends love it because we have the same sense of humor. And I've put a few ex-boyfriends on game. Thanks for being the sun in my stormy weather. Kind regards, Buko. P.S. Sorry this email is so long. Not that long. I think you did great. I think you nailed it with the email length. So if I could tackle the question first, real quick.
Okay.
To me, it really depends on one caveat. It depends. Do you have their number because they gave it to you, or do you have it because they do your tattoos? Because if it's just because like they're the person you hit up for like, oh, here's what I'm thinking of getting, lining up the appointment time. Because I know people who have that. They just have like their tattooist number. So if you have it strictly from that business transaction, you may want to leave this person alone unless you have a personal relationship with them. If they gave you your number because you guys like hit it off and then exchange numbers to like talk, then that just changes it. Then you are open to a conversation, I think. But I think otherwise it's a little bit of like, trying to hit on a waitress because they're being nice to you. And it's like, but that's part of their job,
Yeah, I slightly disagree because I think that if you have their number in a professional setting,
right,
but then you strike up a conversation that's light, so not even directly getting to.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's undoable. I'm saying it just changes how you do it.
I think that if you can bring up light conversation that's not tattoo related while having their number, no matter which way you got it, then there might be the possibility for a coffee or a lunch or a chat.
Right.
I think that it's kind of like when you're in school and especially when you go to a small school or when you're in a camp or something and they just give everyone's numbers to everybody. That's not the same as having the person's number.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if you go to camp with someone and you're all camp counselors and so you have all the other camp counselors' numbers, that's not you having her number.
Yeah.
Because she won't know that you're calling because it's you when you call. But if in any form you were given the number specifically and then you use that number to have a light chat that's not in any way romantic or about meeting up, just like, hey, I thought this thing was funny, something like that. I think if that is reciprocated, then now you can see an open door potentially,
right,
for a meetup that is lunch. I think any approach that takes it slow is kind of fair and leads to no one being uncomfortable. And then also, if you're talking about how to approach people, hit on people sober, I would say that, especially since this is your tattoo artist. So this is her tattoo artist?
I believe so.
Okay. So this being her tattoo artist, you just roll up and you're like, hey, baby girl, you already been sticking it in me.
Jesus Christ.
What? This entire time.
Don't say that. Don't say that to them.
It's nothing you haven't seen. All right. We would just be doing what you do, but a little slower.
You've already been in me and causing me pain. We basically married.
Yeah. Let's do this together.
Yeah.
So read to me again the part hitting on people sober. What else was that?
All right. So I don't really know how to flirt sober, and I want the lady that did my tattoo to be my girlfriend.
Okay.
She's very pretty and really interesting, a little bit older. How do I start talking to her because I have her number? And again, I think if she gave you the number because you guys were like chatting and exchange numbers for even whether dating and or just a friendship, then I think you're open to just, friendly conversation.
So my thing as well, when it comes to approaching people sober, I think that people who need to do it slightly tipsy or with like a little bit of that liquid courage are forgetting and overthinking that these are just people moving through the world like you. So I understand the intimidation because I've had to approach anyone that I've ever approached sober. I've had to ask anyone out that I've ever asked out sober. So I get that there's a little bit of a fear of rejection, and then there's a fear of embarrassment. But on the other side of that thing, even if it were to happen, is just you knowing where you stand now, which is better than wondering and hoping and overthinking and everything.
Yeah.
I think that you also can point to any person, and if you ask them the amount of times in life that they've been horribly, humiliatingly rejected, they're always lower than you would think. So we spend our entire lives trying to avoid any of them happening. But then when you really look at someone just taking you to task for asking them out, I'm not saying that never happens. I'm just saying those things are so rare. Like,
Right.
like any decent person that you would want to be with could treat you in a way that, oh, okay, maybe they're not into it, but at least I know now.
Yeah.
The fear that we have about approaching people or flirting or like being our intentions being misrepresented always through our imagination take such a worse turn than they usually do in real life.
Well, I think it's because too the hardest part about approaching sober, and I think this is why a lot of people like to do it with liquid courage, because it does literally give you that like confidence, because one of the hardest things is being confident in yourself, and that's what it always takes, is like, what is the part of you you're most confident in, the most part of your sense of humor that you're like, I think I'm actually funny in this way, or blah blah. It takes a long time, any of us, even us as comedians, takes a long time before you feel like really comfortable just being yourself in the world. And that's why I think a lot of people like having that liquid courage, because it kills some of those. Not so much that it gives you courage, it just stops some of your, I don't know, practical thoughts of maybe about being too much. You know what I mean? I think is more what it is. So it's like, and I know especially like 21, like not saying you don't know who you are, but that's a tough age too, to sometimes, because you're still just kind of acclimating yourself to like out on my own adult life. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever parts about your personality that you're just like, and you might initially be like, I don't like my personality. That's fine. Get past that thought. What are the things about you think are the most appealing? Like for me, it was always like, you know what? I do know I'm funny. I know not everyone finds me funny, but I do know I am funny, and I can lead with that and be confident in my sense of humor. Not trying to be jokey all the time, but being confident in my sense of humor and be like, well, if they don't like it, then they're not going to like me. And while that might hurt sometimes, that was always enough for me to be like, oh, well, then I won't pursue this person anymore because they don't really get what I'm talking about. Doesn't mean they're dumb or anything. Just means like this will be a hard relationship if I'm constantly making these jokes and they don't like them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it's that high risk, high reward kind of situation.
Yeah. So I would even say that sometimes when I've just seen from the outside looking in that sometimes even when people try to flirt while they're not sober, they're not really flirting the way they think they're flirting as well. So it's not like you can ever. It's best to take these things head on emotionally, because it's not like you can cheat the system in a sense. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've known guys who had just trouble around women. And so then they like get a little tipsy because they were nervous about asking someone out.
Right.
And then they ask them out way too close to their face. And now you have a different issue. So it's like being comfortable with yourself and settling into yourself is, that's great advice, because I think that that's the best way that in any situation you start to know and feel worthy of someone else's time and attention.
Yeah.
Which is the main point of being confident in approaching a person.
Yeah. And if you shoot your shot and it doesn't really work out, they do your tattoos, so now you can just easily sidestep this into a business transaction. Be like, oh, hey, I was thinking about getting this. You know what I mean? If it's like, they didn't really take the bait or whatever, I'm going to, all right, let me not take the bait. That's the wrong wording. But you know what I mean? Like, they don't seem to be going for this. Like, oh, hey, I'm thinking about maybe getting another one. Blah, blah, blah. What do you think about this? Is this something you could do? Mm-hmm. And then the conversation go back to tattoos, and then then you save a little ego there.
Also, all of life is like practice for other points in life, and so just facing that sort of quote unquote fear, but like facing that aspect of fear and asking that person out is better practice even for the next time you might have to do it, or next time you might have to do it.
And also, if she's an attractive tattoo artist, she has been hit on probably so many times in way worse ways. So whatever you do probably won't be the worst. You know
I can see that. Yeah.
There's definitely, probably hardcore like bros who've really tried to be like, yeah, and hey, since you're down there, that kind of shit. It'll be those kind of assholes. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I just think that that practice thing is huge because I think that eventually you get to a point where you feel comfortable, even if it's just through repetition of like shooting your shot.
Yeah. So we hope that helped and hope it all made sense.
Wouldn't it be wild if they wrote in the next week like, hey, you guys probably shouldn't give advice anymore. Like that probably should be an aspect of the show.
Hey, we weren't asking for it, so it's all good. This next one here, this is from Calliope, and can I be honest with you, even non-heat stroke brain, I know what that word is. I know what the word Calliope is. It always reads wrong in my brain the first time. It always registers as calliope the first time, and I go, that's not a word, and like I have to do that every time I read that. That's just a little fun fact about me. But anyway, this one is called Thank You. Hi, Toontown and Squeaks. First off, hi, my name is Calliope, and my pronouns are he, they. These past couple years, I've been struggling with coming to terms with my gender and sexuality, and my family being very openly against the LGBTQ plus community hasn't helped any, for obvious reasons. I found comfort in comedians, and Josh became one of my favorites very quickly, and I started showing his videos to all of my friends. When I found out about this podcast a few months ago, I can say without a doubt that I felt much better. High school has been tough, and I'm moving to a whole new state soon, but you guys have helped me deal with it all. Anyways, thank you both for helping me through this weird time in my life. When I listen, I don't worry about any of my issues, and I think that's neat. That's all. Thank you both. From Calliope. Oh, also, 10 million jangles out of 3. I know it's not the most jangles we've gotten, but I think...
By ratio.
I think by ratio it is.
It might be, yeah.
10 million out of 3, I think, is way more than the other larger groups of jangles we have received, I think, actually. I think so. I think ratio-wise, you're winning in that one, Calliope.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. Sorry, things have been tough, and I know I've moved to new places, especially when I was even when I was younger than high school. And it is there's nerves to that, but like the one good thing is like but you get to be a fresh person to all of them. It's like you get to truly make a first impression, and especially being in high school, you're old enough to kind of know what that's going to be. Because I did it when I was in like 3rd grade, and that's like look back now, I'm like maybe I was too much, I was in 3rd grade. I wasn't really thinking about it.
Yeah, I feel like as well moving to a new place and everything that you're going through. I mean, I'm really glad that the podcast and comedy are an outlet. Like I know that they're always an outlet for me when I'm feeling any particular way. I think that comedy is such a great, like, it's not even just laugh as a distraction. It's like laugh as a means to break down an idea. And so, I really hope that the podcast continues to be that for you, and that things get better quicker, because they get better, period. But sometimes while you're waiting for them to get better, it can feel longer than the process is. Like I think back to high school, and high school to college was such a great transition for me, where all the qualities that I felt like made me self-conscious in high school, all of a sudden were all the things that propelled me in my like college years. Yeah. And so I think finding out more about yourself, knowing yourself, and knowing the people around you and how they fit into how you see your future are all very powerful tools in the journey to self-actualization. Because there are some people that, they're not going to fit in to what you see for yourself the way that you think. And so keeping those things flexible is always good. There are people who I think if I had held on to, even from early on, if I had held on to them, I might not be like a confident person, or I might be like you have to both be accepting of people the way you want them to accept you, but also accept the reality of what that person is like. So always offering up the means for them to make changes, but also not expecting them to wake up one day and just get everything the way that you would like for them to get it, Right. Because I think that leads to a lot of disappointment in relationships, both like romantic and family, where you're like, why don't they just get it? And it's like, there's no telling why they're going to behave the way they're going to behave. They have a whole set of human baggage that they carry.
Yeah.
But I think that all you can do is learn more about yourself every day and find positive outlets. And I'm glad that we can be one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And also in return, thank you for sending in that message, because the people that send those messages saying like, this show helps them, makes them feel better. It's that cyclical thing, wasn't it? It makes us feel better about doing it and knowing that like while we're fine if it is just us sitting on a couch talking, it's nice that people get something out of it. So it's this fun thing where we all boost each other by being a part of it. You know what I mean?
Grandma's couch talking that we're clearly being held captive at. That
we're making the best of our hostage situation.
yeah.
Let's read one more. This one says, this is from Sierra, and I'm reading this one mainly because it's July 28th in Philly, which this episode will come out July 28th, and we will be in Philly.
Okay, wow.
And so, hello, Concussed King and Wedding Wanderer. I like both of those. Those are pretty good.
Yeah. The Wedding Wanderer sounds like a Game of Thrones thing.
A little bit. I've emailed before.